Hey, family. Hey, family. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Hey, Petey. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Boop, 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 boop. Excuse me, family. I was just sitting up here thinking, what am I gonna talk about? What's up pushing? What's up pushing? But I was on I call Ron my nephew, right? Ronovation, the Ronovation show, right? And some people was over there, and I'm talking about men and women. Was over there talking about men and women competing against each other, right? And I just want to make it clear because I'm not going to sit here and say men, women. I can only talk about Steve Copeland. If y'all know me, that's all I talk about is Steve Copeland. Okay? I'm not competing against nobody. And I was thinking about that, right? Competition. Why am I going to be in competition with my mate or my wife? Competition of what? Competing who's the best human being in the relationship? If I gotta sit up here and compete against somebody to win your approval, then I don't need to be there. I'm telling you right now, I don't need to be there. So I'm listening to a lot of you TikTokers. I don't know what planet a lot of y'all was born on. I don't even know if y'all know the year is 2025. I don't know. Because the bull crap I hear over on TikTok, and I deal with a lot of people. I deal with a lot of people who have civilized conversations. I never knew that men and women are in such a competition until I came on TikTok. I never knew. I never really realized it. Let me just say that. Maybe my eyes are being opening now to some new stuff that I never really paid attention to. I never realized until I came on TikTok that men and women hate each other the way they do. Now, I know, it's any relationship you in, it takes work. Let me put it like that. And when women, and not being smart, I have daughters. That's why I have to be very, 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 very careful. I have daughters, and I have 2 granddaughters. So as a man, as a responsible dad, as a grandfather, what do I look like downgrading our queens? I don't get it. And look, it done got to the point right now. I love TikTok. Do not get it wrong. But it done got to the point, I guarantee you, last week, I done blocked at least 20 people's stuff that used to come on my thing to invite me over. No. Because number one, every time I come over, look, Pusha said it's the younger generation. You ain't lying. I don't get it. And then y'all want to sit back, right? We look at y'all as our future. And I'm talking about our younger generation. We look at y'all as our future, right? And it's very disappointing to me from what I'm hearing on TikTok. And I'm going to share this with you, right? Pushing, just to show y'all what I'm saying. TikTok is monitoring us. And I'm going to say as a black race of people. So y'all want to talk about doing your research. Y'all want to talk about doing statistics. Y'all want to talk about looking up stuff. TikTok is taking the information on how black people treat each other, and they pushing it back out into the community. This is where your facts coming from. If you think I'm lying, Google 304, 403. Then Google, right? Google, if you think I'm lying, Passport Bros. Google Passport Bros. And the same way Passport Bro talk, they describe it right over there. And they tell you it came from TikTok. I said, oh my God. So when I read that, Pushing, now mind y'all, Steve Copeland Sr. is my name. So when you look up Steve Copeland Sr., it's going to tell you all about me. It's going to tell you all about my social media pages. It's going to tell you all about the work that I do. So when I open up my mouth to tell y'all what Steve Copeland do in Baltimore City, I ain't lying. When I tell y'all what I do with my LLC, I ain't lying. I ain't got to come over to TikTok and play this phony fake person. Now, if that's the way some of y'all want to be, fine. You lying to yourself. And if you like lying to yourself and that's how you want to present yourself, but you are a good person, keep lying to yourself. You can Google the Couch Conversation, the Couch Talk Show, or the Couch Conversation. It will pull up all of my, basically all the videos that I have, put it out over the years. It will pull them up. You can push up the B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show, but you got to put host Steve Copeland in. It will bring you right to B Moore's Real Teen Talk. So whenever I open up my mouth to say stuff out my mouth, I'm not trying to win nobody approval. TikTok, for me, is the way that I advertise and I promote my business and I promote my LLC. TikTok is what I do. And TikTok knows that because I communicate with them a lot. Anytime I post a video from this, pushing, they might send me something and say my video don't qualify for something, right? Which I didn't know I signed up for certain content. So I'm not going to keep doing that. Because now, I'm not on here and I'm not knocking some of our content creators. That's not what I'm about. When I come on here, I talk about strengthening the community. The LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope. When I come on here and I'm talking about TikTok as a community activist in Baltimore City, as a community organizer in Baltimore City, as a homeless advocate in Baltimore City, as a human rights advocate in Baltimore City. That's what I come on and I talk about. Because of TikTok's community guidelines, when I talk about politics, I have to be careful. When I talk about religion, I have to be careful. These are the arenas that I'm in. Thank you, Queen. This is the arena that I'm in, family. I deal with our politicians. I deal with our local lawmakers or law enforcers. That's the police departments. So if you're in a certain community, and I'm going to share this, right? If you want to get into if you want to fight for your community, or you want to fight for the homeless and the less fortunate people, if you want to fight for our impoverished people, right? And I'm talking about our poor people, you only have 3 classes. You got the poor, you got the middle, and you got your rich. It's just 3 classes. Poor, middle, rich. Normally they might say upper class. Then you have your millionaires. You got your poor people, which live below the poverty rate. So if the poverty rate in your city, say like around about 40,000, and most of your low to moderate income people lives below the poverty rate, then poverty rate. Those are the ones, right, that need the state and the government support the most. Now, I'm not trying to be smart, but if you live in the middle class life and you struggling, you living financially above your means. How do we make a change? We come together. Well, let me share the housing part of pushing. I designed a housing program, right, to break that ghetto mentality, to break that post-traumatic slavery disorder. This right here, pushing. You got to break that old mentality, right? So anybody that comes into my housing program, pushing, they have to sign up for the mental health program, because the goal is to break that ghetto cycle. You get me? Is to break it. Now I'm gonna share with you basically how I work with the people. Before you come in, I'm gonna do an intake on you, because I gotta get to know who you are. I gotta get to know, are you dealing with like depression? Are you dealing with like bipolar, schizophrenic, or something like that, right? Because if you're dealing with these things, I want our professional team to work with you to help balance you out. Now, I'm understanding too, pushing, and thank you. Everybody don't need meds. You get me? So that's where I'm looking into like holistic stuff, right? If I pronounced it wrong, please forgive me, because I don't say that word a lot, right? But I'm looking for somebody that can help balance people out in a natural way as well. I know medication will work for some, but then you got some people pushing that knows how to deal with this more on the natural level. And those are the ones that I'm looking at now, healing, to help our people that look, really don't want the meds, right? But if you need the meds, you got to take your meds. But now, everybody, the whole goal with that too, I'm pushing before I get too far, is to teach you coping skills, teach you life skills, teach you life strategies, right? Because my thing is, anytime you hear me talk, if you so used to acting out in a violent way, I want you to be able to express yourself any kind of way you can, as far as venting, getting it out, talking about where you at, what's going on with you, without destruction, like harming others, harming yourself. I don't want to see you behind them bars. That's my first priority. I'm talking about our men, our women, our children. I do not want to see y'all behind the bars. So when you first talk with me, I'm going to do an intake on you, which is basically an interview, right? And if I feel like you right for my program, and not just me, I have a team, because I might feel like you okay and then wonder what the heck can happen later. So it's a team of us that's going to decide, do you qualify basically for the housing program? So once we bring you in, now, for a lot of y'all, I want to kind of make this simple. If you don't know what transitional housing is, my housing program is temporary. The goal is not to keep you forever. It's a temporary housing program push to help you to become more responsible, more independent. Now, I have to charge you for your space. So if you're familiar with transitional housing, that's basically what I do. Now, for another word, right? If you're familiar with border housing or rooms, that's what I do. Because you have to pay your way. That's how we pay the bills for the facility, right? So now, once you pay your month, every month, between the 1st and the 5th, and you do it consistently, you're showing me that once you leave the program, you won't have a problem with paying your bill every month, your rent. Okay? Okay? So you got to show me. I got to see it when I write you the receipts. Because guess what, Pushing? When it comes to you getting into a permanent house or apartment or somewhere, who you think gonna speak up for you? Or my team? Because right now I got receipts to show that you pay your stuff the 1st of every month, between the 1st and the 5th. You get me, Push? So now this is how my program works. You gotta show me by paying it. Check this out. You got to keep your space clean. So if I put you in a room and you letting that room look garbage and gushy and turn it apart, hell to the no. Not in this program. So I got women, Push, that basically check the women, right? To make sure they doing all the right things by keeping their space clean. You get me? So all of this, I'm looking, because the goal is, Push, because you asked now, is to help reconstruct your life. So if you used to live in a certain way, we want you to perform in a more healthier way. You get me? So now I got to see you doing this. That's once you come into the housing program now. Now that's the second phase of my step, my 5 steps. I got to see you actually doing all the right things. The third phase, Push, if you get in TCA, my goal is to fix it where you can get off of TCA. And basically, Push, I'm looking at women with children, because the men normally works a lot quicker. But I'm looking at the women with children who rely and dependent on TCA. But Push, they can't afford, right? That, say, $1,000, $1,500 monthly rent. So now, Push, this is the third phase of my housing program. You got 5 phases to go through. So now, the third phase, the goal is to get you into an apprenticeship program. What's up, Unc? And I'm talking about the mother that might have about 5 kids. Push. The goal is to fix it where you can financially, that single mother, take care of your kids, because I know the man ain't dead. So when you come in my housing program, and this is for the single mothers with children, the goal is to fix it, family, where they will be financially more independent, where they don't have to rely on the state and the government funding. So if you want to get into nursing, push. If you want to get into nursing, we'll sign you up for nursing. If you want to be a CNA, if you want to get into cosmetology, if you want to get into heavy duty equipment, this is where Plus Jones coming at, right? Because he provide all those services with the people that teaches you. We got government funding. We got government funding when we can get you into these programs, push. I'm talking about these career-minded workforce development trade school type programs. So we got people that can help you better your life. That's a part of the team. So I was picking with my friend. He just came up, God dang it. I was picking with my friend because he told me about his program. And the way, wait a minute, Push, I got you with that too. And the way his program worked, right, it's an accredited program. When he told me he got 40 programs in there, like workforce development, like trade programs, I said, God dang, he's the #1 stop. So I don't have to run around, right, and try to find a lot of outside resources to educate like trade programs, because they already accredited to do it. I said, oh my God, that's the 3rd phase Push. We're gonna get to Section 8, sis. That's the 3rd phase. Once I see you, doing everything to better your life, because you the one got to do the work to change, right? Once I see you doing everything to better your life, and mainly your life and the life of your children, right? In the housing program too, Push, I have an educator there, right? I have a pastor that's part of my team too. I had to build a team, Push, because I couldn't do all this by myself. So I deal with a lot of, I try to mainly work with Black people. So I deal a lot with Black businesses and stuff like that. Now, mind you, I'm talking about the 3rd phase of my housing program. Now, I'm going to share with y'all just what Push was saying. Section 8, when you're in my housing program, the goal is to sign you up, mainly the mothers, okay, with the children, because a lot of them cannot afford that $1,500, that $1,000 a month rent. And then they got the rest of the bills with the kids and everything, right? So Push just asked about Section 8. I got the director, Push, in Baltimore City. I have the director. Yep, it can be expensive, Push. I know. Look, I know. Look, Push, I got the director of HUD Housing phone number. I even have the director of Homeless Services phone number. The mayor in Baltimore City, I call my nephew, so he deals with all of them anyway. So he basically knows about my housing program. He know what Big Unc is doing in the city. He already know that. A lot of our politicians know that. So Push just mentioned something about Section 8. Don't y'all let them think Section 8 is not out there no more. Don't fall for the bull crap. Don't fall for it. Now, they might have cut some of the funding. Don't get it wrong. But Section 8 is mainly for rental properties. But not only Section 8, Push, not only Section 8, HUD Housing have other programs that you can get into with low rent And in some cases, Push, you don't have to pay rent at all. Grant Guru, thanks to Custom. Grant Guru is a woman, Custom, that I'm dealing with right now, but it's step by step because she know where a lot of that money is at. I want the money. And a Custom. I know y'all probably like, why he getting loud? That's passion. You know that. Look, I want the money. A lot of y'all don't understand, right? You can get the 401c3. You can get that, right? To help you with your nonprofits and stuff like that. But watch this, a Custom. Watch what I'm getting ready to say, a Custom. I want Elon Musk money. I want Bill Gates money. I want Amazon money. I want, because those are billionaires. And they have to invest that money for that tax write-off. Y'all didn't know that? So the Grant Guru is familiar with HUD Housing and those organizations that I'm talking about. People like Bill Gates, people like Elon Musk, they don't pay taxes. It's about 5 billionaires. I'm talking about the ones that's worth like hundreds of billions, right? It's 5 of them that do not pay taxes or haven't paid taxes because they invest the money back in programs like mine where they can do a write-off. That's how they avoid paying taxes. And I know you know a Custom. I know you, yeah, I see. So now, keep in mind, on the local level, I look for sponsors, I look for business partners, and I look for investors on the local level. But I also need, and I know how important it is, that I have to reach out for philanthropists. Because I'm talking about millions of dollars, okay? I'm not just talking a Custom, and I know you can relate. Because the reason why I'm saying this, family, a lot of the people that I deal with, we talking about rehabbing and revitalizing houses for the low to moderate income people, the poor people. And I know you listen to me a lot, Custom. I don't play, y'all, when it come to our people. I don't play. She know it. You Custom. You almost got me tongueless, so tongue-tied it over here. Because I know you understand, right? And in this process over the years, family, I was so busy trying to lift everybody else up, trying to bring everybody else up. Because I tell people like this, a Custom and Push, if I make millions, you gonna make millions. You team up with me. If I make millions, you gonna make millions. But if you coming over here with that crazy bull crap, and I'm talking about when it comes to rehabbing and revitalizing houses. So I don't want to move too far away, Push. But now, just like what Push was saying, now I'm at the 4th step, the 4th phase of my process. Because Push asked about the Section 8. So now, some people in my housing program, right, they're not going to want to get into the home buyers program. You got the option to get into the homes buyers program. Not only that, if you want to get into a senior citizen place, this is what the program is designed for seniors, veterans, all of that. But my goal is mainly women with children, the single moms. So everybody that knows me know when it comes to the women with children. I watched my mother raise 7 kids by herself. And it breaks my heart when I watch our mothers had babies for the men that they thought was going to take care of their children. And y'all ran off. I'm 63 years old. Never met my father. Can't even tell you if my father living or not. Can't even tell you if I had brothers and sisters by him. So do y'all know how that hurts me? When a man brags about his children, but you not being a part of their life. You suckers. You suckers. Unknown. That's how I feel, like y'all a bunch of suckers. You sat up there, you made her feel like you was going to maintain your responsibilities as a dad, and then you ran off. Then you want to turn around and blame it on housing. Then you want to turn around and blame it on child support. If you don't take care of your responsibilities, how else she going to take care of the child? I don't understand where a lot of our brothers be coming from. And I know women will play us. I had it happen to me. I raised my stepkids before my kids came along. And my wife took me downtown. I paid over $1,000 a month, and whatever my kids asked for, they got it. I ain't sit back and say, "No, I'll give your mother this." I said it one time. That ain't feel right after I said it. My children are my responsibilities. My youngest is 22 years old. That's my son, my only son. My youngest daughter is 24. She got her law degree. She working at a law firm. She get ready to go back to the college to get her to become a lawyer. I'm so proud of her. My 26-year-old, she's working on her license to be a daycare provider. Raising her own baby by herself. My 30-year-old, she that's my stepdaughter. She good. Matter of fact, I ain't had no problem with her. Now my 36-year-old, a LPN. And I guarantee you she gonna end up being an RN, because that's basically what she's doing. I'm proud of my family. When I look at my nieces that I raised, my oldest niece is 45. When they was born, accustomed, this is my sister 5 children. Before my children came along, I raised them up to God. And I named all of my sister kids. That's how close me and my sisters was. Me and my sister. And I raised like they did on Roots Family. Even with my own children, my own grandkids, they are gifts from God to us. And y'all guys take it for granted. A woman allowed you, right, to drop that seed, to plant that seed. My 26-year-old accustomed, that's my stepdaughter, right? By right, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. She was 2 months old when I met her mother. That's my daughter. I remember when her mother was pregnant with her, but by the time I came back at her with that slicky woo-woo stuff, she had her and she was 2 months old. I raised her ever since she was 2 months. She's 26 now. The 30-year-old, I raised her ever since she was going on 4 at that time. They all our kids then is college graduates, doing good for themselves. Doing good. Doing good. Their mother and I, right? I came from the streets, so I was able to provide a better life for mine. So don't y'all ever tell somebody like me people can't prosper in life, because I'm going to tell you, you're lying. You're looking at one right here. Don't you ever. And I came out of school in the 10th grade. And look who y'all listening to. A 10th grade dropout. On my I can say laptop. On my tablet. I'm restreaming to 5 other platforms while we talking. TikTok make number 6. Wait a minute, let me make sure I'm counting right. Because the package that I got, right, with Restream, I have 8 platforms to stream to. One thing I learned about being on TikTok whether I'm on Facebook, whether I'm on YouTube, whether I'm on Twitter, which is X. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twix. I'm on two of my Facebook page, which is public, streaming right now on this platform right here. This is my broadcast network. I was told a long time ago, family, do not pay attention to the viewers, because I got people even over in Africa, UK, all around the world that hears my big mouth. If you want to talk business, let's talk business. If you want to talk about a 501c3, let's talk 501c3. If you want to talk about opening up a program for inner city youth, let's talk about that. That's what Stephen Copeland Jr. is all about. That's a program that I'm looking at opening for inner city people. But let me get back to something Prophet had asked y'all, and I mean Pushing asked. Pushing, the fourth phase of my housing program. Once I see you doing everything you're supposed to do to get your life back together and in order, by this time you're moving forward, right? So once you graduate from the housing program, push, which is your fifth step or phase, is the key to your affordable house. That's your graduation present for yourself. Is the key for you to get into your own, either it's apartment, your affordable house. If you want to get into the home buyers program, we got people that will work with you with all of that. You want to work on your high school diploma, you want to work on your bachelor's degree, all of that. But mainly, my heart goes out to our single mothers with children. So I hope I didn't confuse nobody, right, with my 5-phase process. One, I got to do an interview with you. That's called an intake. I need you to write down what's going on with you. I'm saying what type of help you're going to need and things like that. But you are the one that has to do the work to turn this around. So when I share this with y'all, right, because I talk a lot, but I'm trying my best to make stuff simple. When I say stuff like this, January the 26th, right, a day at a time, January the 26th, I will have 33 years clean from that lifestyle. I didn't stutter. A day at a time, 33 years, January 26th of 2026. My goal back in the days of Custom was be one of the biggest hustlers in Baltimore City by the time I turned 26. A monkey can't sell bananas, but I made some good money then. But a monkey can't sell bananas. Get it? Because he's going to eat it. Thank God at 30 years old, when I yelled out and said, God, please help me, he took me off the streets, turned my life around. So what do I look like a Custom? What's up, TT? What do I look like not going back helping our people? I'm not a freaking hypocrite at all. I'm not a hypocrite at all. After God then removed me from a certain lifestyle, and I'm not going to go back. And not just with myself, it's other organizations in Baltimore City that created programs to help our homeless and less fortunate people, to help our young men and women, to help our ex-offenders, to help our returning citizens. And y'all think I'm not going to go back? I'm not by myself now. I deal with other organizations and, stuff in the community. I had to get to know from the government level or the political level. I had to get to know the people in the House of Delegates. I had to get to know the council members. I had to get to know the mayor. I had to get to know the senator. In my area, the 7th District, Antonio Hayes. I call him nephew because I grew up with his mother and father, his family. Catch the hint, back in the days. I'm glad that he's into politics. Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore City. I remember when he was a little kid running around at Park Heights. He's the mayor of Baltimore City. Ivan Bates, state's attorney, helped him twice in his campaign for running for state's attorney. Know Marilyn Mosby and everything. Nick Mosby and all of that. I know our Congress member for the 7th District, Kwesi. I remember Kwesi when I was a little, not a little kid, but more like a teenager. Because I know I'm 63, so I know he's probably maybe 10, maybe 15 years. I could be wrong, because my oldest brother's 72. But I know he's somewhere there, because I remember him and Perry J. Mitchell and all of them coming up. Then you got the governor, Westmore. Then you got this guy right now, the orange guy. If y'all know anything about his past lifestyle, right? If y'all know anything about his past style, he come from a gangster lifestyle. That's why he carried it the way he carried it. Real, no real. Keep in mind, real, no real. When you come from that deceitful lifestyle, you spot it. And I think he's real good at manipulating and playing the people. And that's sad, because the position that he's in, he's supposed to actually fight for your rights. He's supposed to represent us as a whole. Everything he's doing that some people think is right is to destroy. And I don't know how y'all got in your head that what he's doing is a great job. I don't know how. I don't get it. And I ain't even trying to rack my brain trying to figure y'all out. Praising this guy. And then we got these women, when they was young girls, around them. So I had to watch words with certain things, right? Because of TikTok's sake. I remember them pictures back in the days with them young girls. That ain't no AI bull jump. I remember that. But we never paid attention to it during that time. But now seeing what's coming forth, and it's the women, whether they pull out those files or not. It's the women that's talking about how they was violated by certain people. Bill Clinton name came up. Just because you seen Jeffrey and that lady and Bill Clinton standing there. I have not yet. Now, if he was mixed into that, I have not heard a woman yet accuse him of touching him as a child. But y'all posting stuff to try to redirect people. No, it is what it is. This stuff happened way before this man became president. So he's not going to be held accountable for his practices. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ain't still doing it now. And the moment I used to hear this man talk about his daughter and how, you know, if she wasn't his daughter, blah, 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 I knew something wasn't right then. I knew it wasn't right. And y'all are justified. Well, he didn't really mean it that way. He didn't really mean it like that. No, he meant it the way he said it. Got this little 13-year-old girl, which is a grown woman now, speaking out on that was her, talking about it. And y'all jump straight into denial. That's why a lot of our children that's being great and all this type of stuff are afraid to tell grown-ups, because the first thing y'all do, nah, not real, you just too hot, you this, you that. Y'all run straight into denial. Your CPS workers and all of that. You will turn around, put children with well-known predators. And I'm talking about your CPS workers. But let me find out y'all doing it. Let somebody tell me that they doing this and doing that with people that's registered. This big mouth, bald head black dude going to speak to his people to fight for their rights, for protection. That's why y'all don't like me. That's why y'all don't like me. And I'm talking about us as black people. That's why y'all don't like me. Because I have no problem speaking out on things that a lot of y'all just turn your head on. And if it's anything, a lot of y'all, and I'm talking about us, should be ashamed of your goddamn self for not standing up for yourself or for your people. Then you want to sit back and say the white man this and the white man that. Like we the only two human races that exist on this goddamn earth. Yeah, but it's the way. And that's how y'all sound every time I hear y'all. Be like, what the heck? And y'all quick to call me a Uncle Tom or Uncle Ruckus. I'm like, who in the heck is a Uncle Ruckus? Or Porch Igro? Or Coon? I'm like, what? And I stand up and fight for our democracy, but I'm the Coon. When y'all scared tails won't even come out and represent your own goddamn communities. But I'm the Coon. I'm the simp. Y'all a bunch of cowards. The white man. It's the white man's fault. It's the white man. If we know the system, and I'm going to do this, because everybody that's in the system is not white. Okay? Because when you look at the have-nots, the have and the have-nots, when you look at the have and the have-nots, all of them ain't white. Okay? You got black billionaires, millionaires, and I'm talking about like hundreds of millions, you know, close to billions. Y'all got to understand, they pay for your butt. Even though we pay taxes ourselves, they pay taxes on us too. Y'all didn't know that? We cost business people a lot of money, except for me, because I don't work for nobody no more. Do you realize you pay, I think, 7%? All together, it's like a 14. I think it's like 14, because I kept saying 15. But I was reading up something the other day where it talks about we pay either 6.5. I think it added to be like 12, because I kept saying 15. Because your company pays taxes and pays into Medicare for you too, for your retirement. Y'all better look this stuff up. I didn't know that until I was looking at some papers, right? And mind y'all, as a truck driver, I was making over 100 and something thousand a year, right? And my company was basically paying almost the same amount. And I'm like, what in the world? How do they profit? That's what I was looking. I was like, how do they make money and they put out just as much money as we pay in the taxes? That thing blew me away. So why do y'all think a lot of these people are investing into the prison system? That's why it's called cheap labor. I try to share that with y'all, not just me. It's other people, right, that know what's really happening. And a lot of times we share certain things with y'all to educate y'all. All right, pushing. But yeah, just before you go, the 4th phase is actually getting you into your permanent housing. All right. Now, once you graduate the program, you get the key. That's the 5th phase. You get the key to your affordable place. Look, Accustomed. I don't want to knock us, right? My goal is to educate us. And I know it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of confidence, family. And I'm telling y'all, I know when you speak out, mainly for our rights, right? So when I look back at people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, and I'm talking about people that spoke up and they stood up for us, and y'all know what happened to them, right? Anytime you speak against the system, there's a good chance you can become unalive. I was arrested 2 years ago for speaking out, for representing the Black community. And it was a white police officer and a white female detective. Created 17 false charges and 2 false police reports. I stayed over the prison for 11 months. But I was over 11 months. I think I spent about 9, somewhere along that line, in the hospital. They operated on my feet twice. I don't know. I'm trying to think that I had one of my toes amputated. I have two of my right toes I had amputated. But I done had my right foot operated on 3 times. I'm starting to sweat. 3 times, 4 times now within the last few years. And thank God I still have 3 toes on that foot. And Accustomed, I had 3 white officers in front of me. And I'm steady doing this. Something hit me and said, shut up, Steve. Shut your mouth. Because these officers are waiting for you to do something ridiculous. Pew, pew, pew. And maybe about a month before that, right, we had another community guy that a white officer took down. I was mad. Somebody called me and said, Steve, don't look at that video. I said, video of what? What happened to what's his name? And when I looked at that video, I said, you motherfucker. And when these guys was in front of me, Accustomed, I started inside because I have never been afraid of nobody in my life. But I was afraid for my life. And I had to shut my mouth. See why I get so loud? You see? You ain't lying. Cause look. Accustomed said it's power in the tongue, but it's more power in the pen. And when they did what they false, right? But the judge did not know. The prosecutors, I'm telling you straight with my own, what I experienced, don't know if that stuff was true or not. It's the power of the pen and the paper. And they showed me that. I was over there, look. This what happened, right? They dragged me through this for almost 2 years. And this is what the prosecutor said. Thank you. This is what the prosecutor said to me, just because I just wanted to drop everything, right? Because my thing, they shouldn't even drag me that far. I have never once talked to a judge accustomed to tell them who I was and what I do around Baltimore City, to debut the charges. They didn't want me to. So what I did, I told my lawyer I was tired. I did a plea deal. And this is what the prosecutor said. She said, Mr. Copeland, we know you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And I looked over at her and I'm like, well, why in the hell did y'all take me through all this? When y'all knew, I already knew I didn't do nothing wrong. But I looked over at her, right? Because this is what she said after that custom. She said, but you are guilty by association. And I wanted to tell her, so is your goddamn boss. So is the mayor of Baltimore City. Because they all know me. So if you want to say I'm guilty of association, they guilty for knowing me. But I caught myself for custom. I said, I just want to go home. Guilty by association. That was the closest they could throw at me a custom. And somebody asked me a custom. They said, did you talk with the state's attorney to let him know what was going on? I said, I didn't know I could. Because, during the time, it was an open case. But a custom, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wanted to call him on several occasions. Man, why is your people coming after me? Blah, blah, blah. After I done helped you get into your position, y'all know me. A custom. I don't know how they can do it. I don't like prison. I don't know how y'all do it, bro. And brag about it too. Woo. Woo. I just want to be honest with you, custom. I want them suckers to apologize to me for what they did. I do. I want them to apologize to me. And I'm going to say this, my goal, and I'm trying to let that go to a custom, is to sue Baltimore City and the Eastern District Police Department for what they did. Because I even talked with the commissioner. No, I talked with their commander and I talked with their captain to let them know the hell I was going through with their officers in the streets. I had a stack of officers' name and ID numbers that I was told to report to Eternal Affairs. Like you said, the pen and the paper. These officers showed me you can make one mistake and they'll put 20 charges on that one mistake or counts on that one mistake. That gives the prosecutor something to play with to convict you. And that's what, and see, I share this a lot because I see what's happening now. When I went to open up my mouth, like whenever I suppose that went to court, Whenever I had a court date, a custom, I never made it. I never went. They never took me. So I realized that was their way of kidnapping me and getting me off the streets to shut my big mouth. And now I can talk about it. Because when I was on the home monitor and stuff like that, I couldn't talk about certain things. Yeah, I can talk about it now. And I told my director of Communities United, I said, when we get ready to have that talk again to sue the Baltimore City Police Department for not doing their work correctly, I told her I want to be the one to speak out on it because of what they did. Now, I'm going to share my experience of the corruption that I witnessed with my own two eyes. And it was two white officers. But I'm not mad. Don't get it wrong. Because it might not have nothing to do with racism and all that type of stuff, right? I think it was more like a power struggle. Because me and the police officer, the white one, we was talking about how we wanted to leave a legacy behind for our children and stuff like that. He know I'm a community activist. He know what I do. The whole Eastern District Police Department knew about me. But it was the ones in the street. They don't like, and I have received a phone call, right? And I know Angela don't mind me sharing this. She called me probably about a week or two before I got arrested. And she said, Steve, a lot of the community activists, they're starting to shut down now, right? Like making them be quiet. And I said, girl, Brandon Scott ain't gonna let nothing happen to me, blah, 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 right? I was just telling her that. And it was like a week or two later, I was shut down. But I had told the mayor at a budget meeting on March 11th, 2023, I said, Brandon, I hugged him, I called him nephew, I said, I need to talk with you because of some of the stuff that I'm going through with the Eastern District Police Department. This was March 11th, 2023, at his budget meeting. 2023. March the 12th, 2023, I got arrested. I don't think he had nothing to do with that, but somebody told me that he probably did, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And it was some false charges that was created. How are you going to charge me with home invasion, burglary, armed robbery, and assault? Home invasion on my own rental property and business. That lease in my name. So how am I going to do a home invasion on my own rental property and business? Then they didn't know that the young man, that the white officer tried to say that I assaulted, I called to my nephew. His aunt is like a niece to me. And she called me and said, Uncle Steve, can you help my nephew? And I said, okay. So the white boy didn't know. So he created this false narrative because of something that happened to him. Now, I didn't do it. His father disciplined his butt for breaking bad with me. So they already knew all this. Plus, they knew I didn't do anything. But just because he was in the housing program and I was there, that's what they said. Even though, Mr. Copeland, we know you didn't do this. We know you didn't do that. But you were guilty. You was guilty because you was there. And that's when I first realized to y'all how you can take somebody somewhere, right? And say like they go to commit a crime, but you don't know they commit that crime or whatever, right? And you can be found just as guilty as them, even though you didn't know they was going to do it. And I said to myself, oh my God, look how they play people. And it seems like the person who actually done the crime will get away, and the one that didn't do the crime, they would rather prosecute more. And this is how our system works. And not only that, you will have somebody that will commit an unalive, right? Go to prison, and then turn around and let them back out. You know why? To do it again. Yup. And I'm telling y'all, a lot of the stuff I just said, Custom, you can take somebody that will unalive people, and they will turn around, lock them up, and about 30 days later, they back out. Knowing they did what they did. But they only let them back out to repeat that same behavior. So to be real with y'all, it's by design. It's by design for us to take each other out. And that's why they don't like when I open up my big mouth. Because I was beginning to see this. Some years, be honest, it was the YT dressing up a certain way, taking us down like that. But then when we started doing it to each other more, they started backing up. Because they ain't had to do the job no more. We doing it. So now here we go. In Baltimore City. In 2016, the spy plane that came to Baltimore City. A lot of lives was taken by Pew Pew. Ross recorded a lot of that. They resolved a lot of the homicide rates, right? Unalive rate. But they got rid of it. So we fought to get it back to reduce the unalive rate in Baltimore City back in 2017. If you leave your house and you go to a certain place to commit a, to unalive somebody, if you go back to that house or go back somewhere else, that camera can track you down. Right. Thank you. I made a statement about that. And right now, Ivan Bates is they filing charges against him. When our new commissioner made a statement, I was like, good. Yup, a custom. But when I seen that, I came straight on my live. Because number one, people in Baltimore City have a tendency, right? Even though this white cop tried to run them over, they would turn around and blame it on the mayor and the governor. And it had nothing to do with nothing. And when I sent that statement out, I was telling Brandon Scott, y'all need to get on this. Because people going to turn around and blame y'all for what this white man tried to do to that black man. Because y'all real good at that. And I'm looking at the video myself, right? And one guy was saying he didn't do nothing to you or didn't do nothing wrong, so why are you messing with him? See, that goes to show y'all, some of y'all don't listen to nothing. I looked at the dude, and the dude looked like he wore almost 400 pounds. I'm talking about the police. So he wasn't going to chase him. He out of shape. So he jumped in the car, went to run the boy over. And I guarantee you, if that young man wasn't recording it, he would have justified his behavior. Then he turned around and ran into somebody's yard with the police car. And be honest with you, I will make him pay to get that stuff fixed back himself. Let me go to one of the town hall meetings and they're discussing it. They talking about it. He tore up basically a brand new police car. When CK, right? CK, when CK was unalive, I started to come on my talk show and talk about it, right? Something said, don't do it. Don't do it. I didn't know him in that sense. But until that happened to him, I might have watched certain things, but didn't pay a lot of attention to him, right? Until then. And yes, a lot of people try to play it. He was real racist. I didn't want to judge him for that because when a lot of people speak out, they speak on certain things. But as a human rights advocate, as a civil rights advocate, I fight for the black community. Like a Martin Luther King, I fight for the black community mainly. So he was speaking on some stuff, and people try to base it around religion as well. Now, as an ordained deacon, or as a Christian, as a follower, as a lover of Christ, you don't want to bring division. You don't want to bring division. But you got to keep stuff real when it comes to life. So whenever I'm in conversations, right, or people on TikTok have prompts up about the white man, the black man, or interracial dating, certain topics I cannot talk on as a human rights advocate. Because we fight for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights, and it doesn't matter of your nationality or your ethnic. So I can't be coming up here, yeah, the white man this, and the white man only this, and the white man only that. And then my daughter-in-law is white. Then I got nieces and nephews that's mixed. What the freak I look like? Coming up here saying white people this, white people that. And to me, not being smart, it's a lot of people on TikTok, right, that have biracial family members and all that too. Y'all are some freaking hypocrites to do stuff like that. Y'all are some backstabbing freaking hypocrites. I don't know if TikTok, I think TikTok paying a lot of y'all. I do. I think a lot of y'all getting paid to come on here, discriminate against each other, bash each other. I wanted to ask Passport Bro, is TikTok paying him for degrading black women? Because basically everything this brother said on here, if you think I'm lying, look it up. Basically everything he shared about why they go over to, it was like 2 countries they mentioned. Look it up. And it's going to tell you this information came from TikTok. This is what they talking about on TikTok. I'm like, oh my God. So there go your surveys and stuff. And I'm going to tell you this too. You have a woman called Passport Girl or something like that, right? She speaks just like Passport Bro. I think certain people getting paid to do stuff like this. I was trying to look up too, pushing. I was trying to look up because I speak out a lot. I said, damn, let me see what they saying about me. But everything I pushed up was my own stuff. But I wanted to know, what is TikTok pushing out there? And they selling our information off, that information off. How do you think they write these books, surveys? How they do statistics? They doing it here. And I know they probably like that big mouth boy black dude. But they know we ain't gonna stop. They know we as black people is not gonna stop degrading each other. But they're gonna turn around and say, that's the white man's fault. That's the white man's fault. That's the white man's fault. I'm watching what AI pushing up here. Because they watching what I'm saying. I'm watching the stuff that AI put up there because of what I'm saying out my mouth. So when I looked up AI, right, you have a bunch of very intelligent people. I wanted to say scientists, right? They surveyors. And this is how they do their work. So they surveyors, right? And they back there and they monitoring the behavior, the disrespect, how we treat, how we talk to each other. And they want you to think, right, that black people is the only race that actually get discriminated against. Or we the only race of people that tends to unalive each other, right? So you notice they don't report a lot of other places like they might do us, mainly in our inner city. Now, I can tell you personally, and I'm really shocked until I heard somebody say it the other day. In a lot of your inner cities, even though it might look still horrible, in a lot of your inner cities, the unalive rate has went down. And I'm gonna tell you, somebody confirmed that the other day. Because from what they said, those private prisons, the people that is investing in the private prisons, from what I understand, supposed to be suing the cities because not enough criminals being locked up. I said, what? So that let me know right then and there that, be honest with y'all, it has in certain areas, I'm gonna say, decreased. Even though they might still pump it up like this is a horrible city, like Baltimore City is just a horrible place. And then they have other people that are come in and feed into it. But because I'm in the community, real life topics discussed, share your views. That's what AI just put up. When I realize here, and I'm looking at the programs that actually fight against a lot of the stuff that's happening in the city, they won't tell you about them programs. They won't tell you about the organizations, but they mainly to promote most of the unalivings and stuff like that, the negative stuff. So when we was on here and we had this conversation, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I was really glad to hear what that person said. Thank you, Custom. Because look, we have $1 billion prison that they're building in Baltimore City. So you know the majority of us gonna fill it up. And when she made that statement out of her mouth, I said good, because at least I know it's gonna be a slower process. And it helped me to understand that even though they want us to think a lot more is happening than what it is, actually the cities are starting to slow a lot of it down. And in order for you to slow a lot of this down, you have to reach the people in the communities that tend to be wreaking havoc the most. Not only reach them in the community, you have to have programs that they can get into to turn their lives around. But you got to be hands-on with our people that's in your poorest communities that feels like life is not worth living anymore. They're not going to accomplish nothing in life. They can't be something in life. And my thing is, yes, you can. The only person that stops you from moving forward is you. Obstacles going to come your way. That's life, period. But nobody can stop you from ever being successful or accomplishing anything in life but you. And I'm only telling y'all from a guy that came out of school in the 10th grade. I'm only telling y'all from a guy that called himself wanting to be one of the biggest hustlers by the time he turned 26. It didn't work. Now I'm telling y'all for a guy that drove the tractor trailer on and off before I got clean, been driving for 35 years, retired at 58, and I'm 63 now. When I retired at 58, I was like, oh my God, what is you gonna do? Because now, mind you, I retired, I ain't gotta get up and get prepared for work no more. But at the time, I was doing my LLC. So what that did, that gave me more time to work more into the business. That gave me more time to build a team to run the business. By me going around getting involved in community stuff and coming up with programs and solutions, that's what our politicians don't like. Because whenever I step up, whether it's in a community meeting, whether it's City Hall, whether it's Annapolis, I come with my blue folder and I say, this is what we can do to slow this down. This is what we can do to slow that down. This is what we can do to put a stop to this. This is what we can. But then they look at me like, don't nobody want to hear that bull jump. Because it's money in the misery. They profit off our pain. They don't want to hear it. But I found out too, in the process of doing what I do, I get respect with this big mouth. Because one thing they know about Steve, when Steve Copeland come, he ain't no goddamn gonna joke. He don't play. mainly when it comes to the Black community. Anybody that knows me will tell y'all he's a connector. Some of them might talk bad about me too. That's probably 90% of the time. But I tell everybody, if you want to talk to Steve Copeland about anything, you can call me. If I don't answer, leave a message. And I'll call you back. Because I had to put both of my phones on silent. I get phone calls 2, 3 o'clock in the morning thinking I'm a shelter. A homeless shelter, I mean. No, we provide shelter, like a roof over your head, like housing, temporary to permanent. But I'm not one of them shelters that you go in during the day. I mean, you go in at night and you gone during the day. That's not me. I tell people, Google me. If you Google me, it will tell you everything about strengthening the community. The LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope. It'll tell you everything about me and what we do. So I seen my man Mr. Humble come through, and I love his platform. And just about everybody platform a custom. I'm not trying to be smart, Queen. I had to block and delete a lot of people whose stuff we go on. I am sick and tired of customer, the chaos and the confusion. I'm tired. I'm tired, family. I'm tired. That stuff eats up your spirit. I'll be like, how can y'all do this? So T Talk, I love her platform because we try to keep a balance. Like if you're going through certain things and you need to vent, we want you to be able to come and feel free to talk. So accustomed. And I know Pushing probably know it too, because I see y'all come certain places, right? I'm just saying with the utmost respect, I just had to block about 3 people the other day. If I come up on your platform, right, I can only share my experience, right? Not based around my opinion, what I feel or what I think. And I try to make people aware of that. I'm talking about my experience. Anytime a host, and I'm going to make this clear to y'all, anytime you are the host and you invite me to your platform and you know how I go, and me and you turn around arguing, you're blocked. I'm telling you now, I'm going to block your tail and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to block you and I'm going to mute you where you won't be sending me those invites no more. So anytime I come on, you can. You can. That's why accustomed, I gotta stay real. Because part of this is ministry for me too, right? So I never know who might need to hear what's coming out, like as God speak through me. I don't know who might need to hear. And I tell people, I'm gonna say this. As a Christian man, and I'm gonna tell you, I love Christ. Don't get it wrong. My journey is spiritual. My journey is spiritual. I'm a loving, caring, kind, considerate man. Piss me off, you're going to see that Lucifer side. That's the side I don't want to show up. But being, just saying I'm a loving, caring, kind of considerate person, right? And I know if you get me wrong, you know, I'm going to defend myself. If you come for me, like talking down to me, I am going to go up because I don't like people talking down at me. If we're going to talk, let's talk. But if I feel like you're attacking me, then my defense mechanism gonna go up. And y'all be like, why is he yelling? Why is he this? Because you sent me my defense then went up. I'm not gonna sit here and let you mentally, emotionally, and verbally abuse me with this. Meet up while I tear you apart. I'm like, yeah, okay. I will turn my phone down and let you run off at your crazy mouth. So you think you're doing something. And I ain't mentioned no names, but a couple of women I don't even know. I don't even know a custom. They mad at Ghost because I know Ghost from, well, he's from Baltimore. I don't know him personally. And they mad because I support him. And they're going to say that I agreed with him when he was talking bad about the women. I said, no, I did not. That's that man. That's that man platform. Whatever he say out his mouth is his business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So I became, y'all can call me monster all you want because I'm used to it. And they start coming for me. I'm on people's platforms, they coming up, yeah, and Steve over such. I'm like, what the heck? And look, I ain't trying to be smart, right? If my daughters and them hear me up here bashing women like that, I could see my phone's going off the hook now. Dad, why? Y'all ain't getting me in trouble. No. And I can see my 2-year-old trying, my 2-year-old, look, my 2-year-old granddaughter trying to call. Pop, pop. You only talk about us women. Girl, you only 2 years old. Don't be, but pop, pop. That's not how you raised us, pop, pop. Y'all not getting me in trouble. Y'all are not getting me in trouble. I could see my 2-year-old granddad, my grandbaby now. I'm like, what's up, boo-boo? How you been? But I ain't talking to you no more. Why you ain't talking to granddaddy? Because I was listening to you on your TikTok live. Oh, God. Oh, God. So y'all been stop lying on me. I don't care about y'all talk about them other men. Stop lying on me. Cause look, I look down, I see one of my daughters down there, and then my son, he'll come through. My daughters and them come through. My nieces and them might pop up from time to time, right? What Uncle Steve talking about? But they know good and goddamn well. Uncle Steve do not bash women. Not like that. No. The women, and I'm telling you, because when I look at my mother, right? And my mother passed away when I was 26. But when I look at my mother was the most powerful woman that I have ever known in my life. To raise 7 children. My mother had 7 children by 7 different men. And none of our fathers took care of us. I watched my mother. I watched my nieces. I'm talking about the ones I raised, family. And I watched my daughters. They are some very, very independent women. And I worked with them because I did not want them to settle for less when it came to having that guy in their life. But I don't want them custom to say this right. Say like my daughter, she'll be making over $100,000 a year, right? Because she's gonna become a lawyer, and so is all of them basically make real good money. Let me put it like that. But I don't want them to ever look down on a man if he don't make as much as they do. If long as he's working, I just don't want, right? A custom, I was just reading what you wrote. Wait a minute. Yeah, I was just reading what you wrote. But you know what? When I listen to you, when I listen to a lot of the women that's real strong and feisty, I'll do number laugh. Mainly when guys come for y'all. Accustomed. Certain women that I know that don't play that bull jump, and a man come up there, you know, off the wall, I'll be like, oh shit, y'all get ready to get you the fuck out. Excuse my language. But look, excuse my language. But I be over here cracking up because I said, oh my God, they gonna get him. My stomach hurting the custom. I said they gonna get him. Certain women that I know on here that speak out, woo, and don't bite their tongue, I respect that. I respect it to the utmost, you know. And certain ones that's just been pure sloppy, but the ones that, like you, one of them, and I know you speak truth, right? Whew. Oh God, my stomach hurting the custom. I'm over here laughing, my stomach hurting, right? And because I be watching that, right? I be watching, and I'm getting ready to go to Ron's, right? Conversation. Latasha do not play. Pretty Brown is another one. Pretty Brown will come for you too. When Pretty Brown is at work, I know that she'll be talking real low. I said, oh my God, she must be working, because normally she come for your butt. And then she'll turn around and say, I'm trying to be nice because I'm working. But she be trying to get it out. I'll be like, get it, go. Oh God. It's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of y'all queens. Woo. I be over here, family. I be cracking up. I'm gonna go ahead and end my live stream on my restream broadcast. But I love y'all, Baltimore, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this.